Okay, I'm here with the creator of the Rock and Roll Autograph Show, Corky. How are you doing, Corky?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's a great idea. Let me ask you about your background. You are just a rock snob or fan for so many years, right?
Well, that's it. I'm a fan. And I'm a collector. And but yeah, I have a fairly extensive collection. I have about 7,000 pieces of memorabilia or signed pieces, and
7,000.
Yeah.
Including what? What is the most precious?
I have a beautiful Hofner bass signed by Paul. I've got one of the Bag 1 series suitcases that was John Lennon's. I've got one of Michael Jackson's jackets from the History tour that's signed by him. Things like that.
Big stuff.
It's okay. It's good stuff.
Wow. I
Now-
thought I had everything, but
Now
you.
I have a whole bunch of guitars that are signed by some real stars, real stars.
And when you started
Started what?
collecting?
Oh, the first autograph I ever got was in 1974, and it was Barry Manilow. And
How was the situation?
I lived overseas. I lived in Israel, and I went. I came back to the United States for the summer, and Barry was on a TV show called Midnight Special, and he sang Mandy and Could It Be Magic, and I loved it. So I went out and bought the album, went back to Israel, wrote him a letter from Israel, and because it was from Israel and I was quote unquote his first Israeli fan, he wrote back to me and said, let's continue to correspond, and we corresponded and became acquaintances for about 5 years. But once I got a free autograph through the mail, I kept going.
Oh, and which is the one that you met and you have the best memory?
I think for me the best one as far as obtaining, it was about 2 years ago. I live on Maui, and 2 years ago Peter Frampton came to close out his world tour there on Maui. He played for 3.5 hours, and it was just amazing. And then I went backstage afterwards, and he signed 2 or 3 albums and a guitar, and I think I love those pieces the most. I mean, just watching him was amazing.
They recognize you as a collector, or how?
Nobody knows me. I'm just a guy. This whole event is I'm a fan. I'm a collector. I had an idea to try and do something to pay it forward, to help children at St. Jude or the parents of St. Jude, and that was the whole running dynamic of this event.
Wow. When did you start to thinking about it?
About the event?
Yes, the rollout.
Well, it's been my dream for about 7 years, and I've been working on it for the last 2 years. But it's just everybody has an autograph show, sports and TV and the ballet. But it made no sense to me that rock and roll didn't have its own autograph show. And so for seven years, I asked people why isn't there such a thing as this? And I could never get an answer, and so I figured I'll just do it myself. Now, of course, I know why there wasn't. This is really difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah, but the outcome on this is that regardless of the attendance or how everything went, we witnessed absolute history. Saturday night, last night, Friday night, with some of these artists that got together for a jam. Last night to see Dick Wagner and Mark Farner, Danny Seraphin, Prescott Niles to jam and to do a Hendrix. That was insane. Yeah. I mean, you'll never see that again.
It's not going to happen again. Yeah.
Never. And so that was remarkable for me. Of course, the true whole thing of this is that you don't know what dominoes you're pushing for the children of St. Jude. You don't know who you're going to meet and touch today that's going to make a difference 10 years from now. And that's what it's all about.
Well, every show started in some point, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's, what is it? The greatest journey starts with the first step. So this was the first step. And
I can imagine the first NAMM show 100 years ago. Probably 2 pianos, 1 drums.
Probably, if that.
Right?
If that. Yeah, and now NAMM is, I love NAMM.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, I remember
Absolutely.
from NAMM. If there's anything else you want to say to other collectors like me and
Just be passionate. follow your passion. It's not necessarily an investment, although in the bottom line is that there are monies invested in, and there is a return if you choose to sell these things. But it's the passion, and collect because you want to have a tangible piece of history and memory, so that you can go back and look at this and go, I remember when I was hanging out with Mark Farner, and talking, in Hawaii we say talking story. And he signed this piece, and every time I look at that, I'll think of Mark and his wife Lisa and our time together, and that's important. And every collector, when you get an autograph, that's what it should be about, is that it's a tangible piece of history that brings back a moment for you. So.
Do you agree with eBay or not?
I sold on eBay for 12 years, but not autographs or memorabilia, other things. And eBay is a great service.
I'm talking about, autographs.
However, there are people out there who take advantage of every situation. And when the company itself starts off by saying a very large percentage of everything on this is fake, then you should just realize you don't go there. Yeah. There are very reputable places to buy autographs, or people such as Roger Eperson, who was one of the vendors here. The other is R&R Auction, which is where a lot of these pieces are going to be auctioned off.
And you're going to be fake?
Oh, God, no. And R&R Auction is basically, they're like the Christie's of autographs. And you can certainly buy from them through their auction house and with absolute knowledge that it's real stuff. And if the other rule of thumb is if something appears to be, too good to be true, it is. You will not find a Paul McCartney signed album for $250. It's just not going to happen. You will not find a Mark Farner guitar, almost period. Okay, Mark does not sign guitars except for charity. So if they've got a half a dozen Mark Farner guitars for sale, leave the site immediately. So things like that.
Corky, I hope to see you once a year at least, okay? I hope you succeed with this eventually, and you get my support.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.